Guten Tag. Hopefully everything's working. Had a busy day today. Yeah, we'll get Brooksy to play it first before he takes it, and that way, if it isn't right, he broke it. You know what it's like. Actually, she's over there. Look. You can see her. There. Oh. All working. So, it's been one of them days. Oh, excuse me. God, everything's active in here. I was going to ask Fiona to cut my hair, but I don't know if it would actually end up looking worse than it does now, which would be an achievement. So, Grace, you're on the M1, heading back. Oh, hello.
Ew. Hello.
Afternoon, bank holiday man.
I got the message. Thank you, Grace.
Oh, did you?
I didn't realise this was on. I hadn't had a notification or anything, but I was.
Weirdly.
I was actually on Discord doing some Discord chatting. I don't do that very often, so I thought. So I popped into Booze.
Ooh, what's that like?
Ramsey's. Well, I suppose it's a bit like Facebook and things like that, but it's actually much more sort of text and chat based. But it's actually quite cool. And Sonic State have got one. Sonic State have got a Discord.
Never really used it.
Right.
Maybe the name put me off.
Well, I know it's a funny name, isn't it?
You go on there to like go, fuck
argue
you,
with people.
fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
You're wrong.
Yeah. Discord. Everybody hates everybody else. Yeah, no, it's not like that at all. Actually, it's really quite sensible. Hi, Neil. Neil's in the chat.
Yeah, Neil's in there. Is he coming down next week? No. Oh, this week rather.
Well, I'll be down at my brother's. He may well come down.
And sort of.
We might, yeah. I think we did sort of casually talk about something like that. But I'll be at my brother's in Harpenden Tuesday to Thursday. So that's why I said when I'm coming home from Harpenden, I'll just drive around the M25. You know, I'll come to you then on Thursday. So you've got the baby in the background there. Ooh, lovely chubby.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, tremendous.
There was nothing wrong with that pot.
There was nothing wrong with the pot. It was the chip. So we've gone through two alternative pots. Are we back to sticking the original one back on then? Is it?
Yeah, because once I'd cleaned it out, it was absolutely perfect.
All right, joy. So I can't go around telling people I've got Howard Jones's Prodigies.
It turns out you wouldn't want it anyway. It was the wrong value.
Good. Right, good.
So it hasn't been tainted.
No, it was an interesting attempt. So, well, thank you again for sorting that. That's joyous.
Yeah, well, the backlight should be here soon as well.
Oh, excellent. That's good. Yes. I'm going to get hold of the disk drive, the Go. What do they call them? The replacement. The replacement. I can't remember the names. So it becomes a USB drive. You put a USB stick in it, and it all sits on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got the link. Yeah, Robbie sent us that, so I'll get in touch with the chap and ask for the right bit, and then we'll work out a way of getting the. Like I said, in this window here, I've got boxes and boxes of old floppy disks that were for the W30 and S550 and things, which will all theoretically go on there, assuming that the disks are still readable. Neil tells me it is possible to do a disk image and somehow get it over there, and he might need to give me some guidance on that, but Grace might be able to sort me out with that as well. She might know about those sorts of things. But yeah, well, it's just to bring the old girl back to life again. You know, I mean, she's not dead. It's just that it's hard to use it without the backlight on the display.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And funnily enough, I just put a new display into that Prophet BS that was in the workshop.
Right, yeah.
God, that was nice and straightforward. Do with more of them.
That was easy, was it? It's only a two-digit LED, though, isn't it? Yeah.
No, it's all blah 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 blah. Not the two-digit one. The actual.
There is a disc
Yeah,
on
there is a
there,
two-digit one at the bottom. Yeah, you're right. But no, the bigger one. But I replaced it with one of those OLED things. But it's had all the conversions and everything to make it work correctly already on the board. So it was just screw it in, connect the plug, put it back together. Have some of that.
Oh, good. M Block in the chats just said anything about the Richard H. Kirk equipment or sale. I've not heard anything about that. I've not heard anything. I mean, it's a while since he passed away, so.
No, I haven't heard anything.
I don't know.
No.
Sorry, no clue. I mean, I do know people in Sheffield who will know.
He could
about
probably
that
hear
sort of
you.
thing.
You probably wouldn't have to type it.
You could what?
Didn't you just type it in?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
multifunction. Yeah, you probably hear it.
This, see this? It's as good as typing.
Oh yeah. Well.
Oh
yeah.
God, you're having a day like me, are you?
So
Oh.
I'm a school teacher. I'm used to doing everything twice. So look, I've said that already. Right.
Pay attention.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep my ear to the ground as another cliches to hear to see if I hear anything. There's a terrible phrase, but
Yeah.
we'll have a look. Hi Neil. Hi Keith. Hi Grace.
Yeah, all in there.
Oh yeah. Have you got a pair of things? It's a bank holiday, isn't it? Of course it is. I don't even notice that today's a bank holiday because it's in the middle of my summer holiday anyway. So it's just an inconvenience that everything closes early, and the roads are busy when you're wanting to go somewhere. Oh, I want to go there. Well, don't, because everybody else is. So I'm just staying at home today, doing boring chores.
No, it's quite funny actually because I was in the workshop this morning, finished off Pro 1, put it all back together, and then I did what? I did a little bit of work on the CPU board of a OVX.
Oh yeah.
And a few other bits and pieces, and I was just about getting ready to do some more stuff, and Fiona comes down, she goes, you know it's bank holiday today. Is it? Oh, okay. I said, well, I can carry on working, can't I? She goes, no, you're not working today. Oh, okay. So I'm not.
Okay.
There you are. So she goes, go upstairs and do some composing. I went, she goes, go on. I went, yeah, all right then. So I come up, started doing some composing, and as soon as I touched my expression pedal, it went. Yeah, so I had to go back down to the workshop with the expression pedal and sort that out. Bloody expensive one as well, and it's sort of like the cheap little M Audio ones. They do they do these black and grey expression
all
pedals.
sorts of,
Yeah, but they're about about 28 quid or something like that. This Yamaha F7 or whatever the bloody it was like 153 quid.
Well,
Do you know what I mean? And there's literally all right. It's all very plush and lush and everything, and it's got such a beautiful action upon it, and all that sort of thing. But it does exactly the same job as the 30 quid one, you know.
but it breaks.
You're in trouble with Fiona.
Oh, man, what have I done?
Oh, mate, she caught me looking at Eurorack modules at Thoman on my iPad, and she's gone, oh, I see. She goes, Brooksy comes down for a couple of hours, and the next thing, oh no.
No, it's not me. It's not my fault.
I know. Well, it kind of.
Sorry, Fiona.
No, it's shared. It's shared between you and Grace.
Oh, I'll blame us both then.
Yeah,
that, Grace.
Because it's also Grace's fault as well because see, I tend to listen to your album at least once a day when I'm in the workshop, and it's good. You get it all going in the background, and I'm working away. It's great. And I'm going, do you know what? This modular shit's quite good, you know.
It's not all modular though on there.
I know that. But the bits that you have got that aren't modular, I've already got. And I'm going, yeah, but these other things, I'm going, ooh, these other things that are going on, you know.
Oh, it's probably Grace on the Lyra or the Matriarch.
I mean, it's not all yours, isn't it? And Grace's fault. However, I did notice. I went to Simon again and had a look and said, when is my 55 coming? And I went and had a look and I go, it's like late September or something like that. Oh, okay.
No.
And as I looked at the picture, I went, oh, hang on a minute. There's no modules in the bottom part. It's
Well,
just-
you've ordered that's a 35, isn't it?
oh, come. No, it's a 55, but it has. So it's one,
Is it? Oh, it's two cases.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
it's
two
two
go
go
cases,
cases. So
but
it's
the
boom,
bottom
boom,
one's
boom,
empty.
and then the bottom one is like a elbow shot.
Oh no!
And I've gone, oh, that's.
Oh,
I
dear.
should get.
That's
I should
100
get a.
That's
mm,
140 HP to fill.
yeah. So I'm looking at a brains. I like the
Okay.
idea. Like the idea of a
Yeah.
brains. There was. What was that other thing I was looking at? Was it a random event sequencer or something?
Is that the
I'm trying-
ARP clone thing, the 2500 module?
No, I don't think it was. No. See, I'm always very new to this. So I'm not really remembering names and things, but it was getting really, really stupid because I went, oh, that's a nice module. Oh, yeah, but it's silver. I'm not going to. No, all the modules are going to have to be black
You
in
have
that
the black
case,
ones.
and I'll have to buy another case to put all the silver modules in.
Oops.
Oops.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think I sort of like wish list about 3 or 4 grand's worth of stuff and go, oh dear.
Be careful. Oh, be
Yeah.
careful. Yeah, learn the system. Well, you'll know the system 55. I mean, as soon as you get it, you'll be.
Oh yeah,
familiar
the
'cause
55 I'll know it. Yeah, but
it's labelled the same as the Moog as well. I mean, they've
Yeah.
stuck. I mean, give them credit. When they clone it, they clone everything. And it's like, no, we're going to be absolutely true to it all. Even the bits that aren't that clever. You know, you go, no, don't do that. Like even on the Model D, its tuning is even unstable compared to the Pro 1. I mean, they've even got that right. So you do have to leave it. You have to leave it switched on, or else it drifts. It's like, actually, wouldn't it have been better if they hadn't done that? Well,
Yeah.
hey, so the labelling even on the 55 and the System 100 and all those modules is the same as it would be on the original modules, even if it's not clear what it means. Like on the 960 sequencer, your gate output from the 960 sequencer isn't labelled gate or trigger, it's labelled oscillator. It took me ages to work out that. So the oscillator is generating the pulse. That should get, you know. But why couldn't they have just said trigger out or gate out? It would.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oscillator in, oscillator. And you go, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
These are the little stumbling blocks. But if you're familiar with them from dealing
Yeah,
with
no, I
genuine
know, right.
Moogs,
Yeah.
yeah,
I had to deal with all that shit.
yeah. Neil actually says that Fiona's in trouble as well because Neil's now looking at getting a dog.
Well, it's not a bad thing. Get a
No.
small dog, something that will fit on, in the glove box, so it can go with you.
The kickbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see Neil as a little dog person, really.
No.
No, he wants something like Nelly clambering all over him.
Oh, does he?
I don't know. I'm just putting in words
I
in
can
his
highly
mouth.
not recommend that. So, because Nellie's one of those really bizarre dogs. If you we stay up, right, and we're watching TV or something like that, and we're all in the front room together. But by about 11:30, Nellie will go upstairs and go to bed.
Ah,
And she has a bedtime.
very civilised.
Yeah. The only problem is, about 7:30, 7:45, I'm woken by wet noses in my ear hole. So their morning treat. So brilliant, the alarm
Ne-
clock.
Neil says he's looking at another basset hound. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they are lovely. Cute as hell. But yeah, so there you go.
Now we're talking about pedals.
Mm.
This thing here behind, the sustain pedal will just be any old ordinary sustain pedal.
Mm.
Just got to work out because I've got a sustain pedal. It's really quite a nice one. It came with the actually crappy piano, But I'd ordered the stand for the piano, which has a built-in 3-pedal board. So I never, it was always sort of separate. Came with the thing, but I got.
What are you doing?
So,
No, I just wondered if you were laying them out so I closed this up.
but the sustain pedal, I've never managed to get it to work with the Supernova. So, but that's probably me not understanding the Supernova more than the pedal because it's only got 2 switches on it.
Husky
Hello,
alert.
Keith.
Husky
Hello,
alert.
I want to give Neil some problems, some mental anguish.
You're giving me mental anguish as well. I want them all. I want the Huskies.
Oh my word!
Beautiful.
Where's the other one?
Beautiful animals.
Ginge, where's Ginge? There's Ginge.
Ah.
Oh, Ginge. Oh no, that's 2 of them.
How many?
2 little sisters.
Oh God.
The old dear and Ginge.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And
Beautiful.
and the puppy's in the cage in the side.
Well, that's a Charlie-looking one. That is. Except he's got a little bit of
Watch the
orange
dog
in him
unit.
as well, hasn't he?
Leffy.
Ah, look at him. I'm such a sucker.
How you doing, Neil? Is that making you feel any better?
Reaching
So,
for his iPad.
Oh,
I
nice,
can't read the
Keith.
chat.
Yeah. He needs
No,
to
I
go back
was
to-
going to say,
yeah,
sorry?
Back to he's got to go back to Kent's for a husky cuddle now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the most cuddly
yes,
dog I've ever
yeah.
had. He's fantastic.
Damn it, says Neil.
Hang on, let's do some carpet. Do some carpet. There you go. How's that?
Proper carpet.
Oh yes,
Nature's carpet.
nature's carpet.
What have we got here? Bet.
Oh hello, fella.
Bet. Yeah.
That's
There you
it,
go.
take
Number
him out. That's Bert.
Number 6. There you go. That's the lot.
Yeah.
You can go back to synths now.
God help us all. Yeah, I bought her up. I bought the Pro one up and to give her a calibration.
Oh, lovely.
She was,
Cool.
She went out by much.
No. I'd noticed it actually when the last time I really used it was at a Hardware Jams meetup event, and I've noticed when changing the octaves up that it was going just a little bit
Slightly out,
So, yeah. Not like you said, not by a huge amount.
yeah. But
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the trimmer for the DAC. Because the problem is the bastard scales from the 2 foot down, and you get the spacing going from 2 foot down.
Wow.
Because I'm always getting Pro ones coming where somebody's tried to calibrate and done it from the bottom,
The bottom
up.
upward. That seems to be the logical way to do it.
Yeah, you'd think, wouldn't you? But you end up with no space up the top end, so it's 0 and 1 are okay, and then 2 is like, and 3 is like, and then you go up to 4 and it's like, I can't use this, and you have to actually move the tune pot.
Yeah. Paul Holmes is just saying, he said, my Pro one is still behaving. I'm glad yours is still behaving. I mean, mine was, if I'm honest, it was really heavily gigged. Lots and lots of my solo gigs, lots of Chillage People gigs, where it was just, it was carted here, there and everywhere. And it's amazing that it lasted as well as it did, to be honest. And then one day I was playing it actually in here, and the keyboard had already gone like a mountain range, but one key went poing, and half of it flew across the room. Literally, where did that go? And that was when I thought, oh, this isn't so clever. I'm going to have to get it looked at, and then didn't, and it just sat there, like a lot of my old gear, it sat there as I just smoked loads of cigarettes over it. When I lost my love for being involved in music, sat there for about 10 years in that condition. It was a mess.
Well, that
And
jack
Kent's
socket on the
Roots is one
back,
that yeah.
That adjustable kit on the back is for that modulation wheel only. So that's to
All right.
put modulation on a pedal or something like that.
So
But-
that is for an expression pedal, so you can use it on a.
No,
Right.
for the modulation wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is the way it was done. It's contributed to blowing that quad op amp up on the board.
Right.
So,
Interesting, because I've never ever used that socket.
well, that's all right because what I've done is I've actually removed that cabling
All right.
because that's where you were getting a lot of your problems.
Your problems. It was funny. There was a consistent. It was like a. It was like a fifth, wasn't it? It went up a fifth. When
Oh,
you
that was
switched
after
switch
after the chip had blown.
on. Yeah.
So you had no controlled CV coming out of that chip. So
No,
as soon as you
right.
switched it to that pin, it just went, "Hello, 5 volt," and the pitch went up in the air. So yeah, so I've removed that so it won't kill that chip again.
Excellent.
Well,
Good.
you know that chip in that location again won't kill. I can't kill the chip again. It's dead.
No.
So, but yeah, so she's a happy girl now. Hey.
Yeah, it sounded great even when it was not so clever. Just when we're going through the keys, and that was again a strange one. Every eighth keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6, dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dead. And to know that that's all part of that cable that connects it to
Yeah.
the keyboard. That was
Yeah.
you're learning loads just by doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah, really interesting.
Well, I mean, you found out how digital a Pro One is.
yeah, that how the
Essentially,
keyboard and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, all that keyboard, the sequencer, and everything like that, and then all the CV and how the VCOs and VCFs are operated is literally from a digital end rather than from a purely analog end. So,
Yeah. 'Cause these things are good to know.
yeah. But,
Sorry.
yeah,
Much
you
better
learn the
now
hard
than
way
the-
with those things, anyway.
Paul's just asked about the bearing of Pro One. I mean, obviously, you can't comment about what's inside it and how that's all been built and put together. The outside of it, the externals, is really solid, much better than the original Pro One, which is like papier-mâché. And the sound is remarkable. You know, it really is. You know, and you think it's what, 250 quid. It's, if you're interested, it's a no-brainer. You know, it really is. It sounds great.
Well, you see, this is the problem, right? You see, that most of the Behringer gear, all right, may have cheaper pots than some machines, and
Yeah.
or cheaper buttons than some machines. But you know, if you look after stuff like that, it really doesn't matter. You know, I've got stuff in here that would fall over if you breathed on it too heavy. But if you treat it gently, it'll last just as long. And Behringer don't actually make anything that's shit. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. I mean,
Well,
I messed. Well, no. Do you know what I mean?
I could argue about their mixers.
Well, no, I'm with you on that. I'm with you. But in terms of these clones and stuff they've been doing, there's none of them are particularly dreadful or anything like that. You know, but like I said before, you know, my beef is with him and the business practices, not the gear. But I mean, I know sometimes it's easy to turn around and just say, yeah, fucking cheap shit, innit?
Yeah.
When it
yeah.
actually is just cheap, and that's all. But the mixers, oh Jesus Christ, they can all go
Yeah.
and skip.
I mean, I know that the digital ones, the X32 and the X18 and so on, they seem to have a much better reputation. But the analog one, I had the 2442, and I've still got it's in a box down the corridor. All the mono channels went. The stereo channels were still fine, but so whatever was wrong with the board that the mono channels was on, it would just get in a high pitch whine straight out of it, every single one. And then I bought, as a little stopgap, I bought a little 1602 just to tide me over while I saved up the pennies for a new mixer. And then the left channel of that one went, so it was only outputting on the right channel. I thought, this is just crap. You know, this is really not good at all. That's why I went back to a Mackie for that. And now I'm even thinking about whether I need a mixer at all, with audio interfaces and things like that. But yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because, I mean, I've been thinking about mixers, and I came to the conclusion that what I actually really want is one of those digital mixers where the channels come up separately in Cubase,
Yeah.
rather than doing all this patching bullshit that I have to do. And it's just like, yeah, it would just be simpler. It's less noise. When you've got a chain of different mixers, each one adding a little bit more noise to the overall audio.
Mm.
And yeah, I must admit, I did look at the is it the 32X? Or
X32, Behringer
X32. Yeah.
You can get it with a Surface, but you can also get it where it's just in a rack and everything goes in the back of it, and then it comes up on your screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Grace will know more about that.
Yeah. But I fancy this idea of having the audio being coming out of it digitally and then being received digitally, and then I can put various effects on different hardware instruments separately, rather than it appearing on 5 or 6 different instruments together. So,
Yeah.
but again, pennies,
True.
more pennies.
True.
So.
I've also got, and Grace will remember this one, the Mackie 1604, the original CR 1604, which again, heavily gigged by both myself and Chillage people live. And again, just sat in the corner, so it was hardly surprising that really wasn't very well. I mean, that put a massive spike up the back of one of my Roland speakers and literally blew it up. I mean, there were flames coming out of it. Grace, you've blown up my blue. I was just, ooh. Well, I'm sorry about this, but if it's doing that to your speakers, your mixer's now dead, and so is your speaker. We wrote up a mixer and a set of active monitors in one go. Oh dear, that was a shame. So again, I mean, I don't know if it'll probably be something from the power supply leaking through somehow or something, but it will need a good overhaul. I know you don't like mixers, but apparently there's a tech place here in Sheffield that deal with that sort of thing. So I might, when I've saved up a few more pennies again, take it in, because I'd quite like to have that. This is a Mackie here, but it's not the same as the 1604. It's got 3 auxiliary sends, 2 of which are pre-fade. So they're essentially monitor sends for live use, which makes sense. But they're a bloody menace when you want to use them as effect sends. When you mute the channel and it all goes off, it doesn't. You mute the channel and the effect send's still sending. It's like, oh, bloody hell. Ah, well, but that's that. I should have looked into that one more closely.
Yeah, well.
But again, if I do go the other route, it might say, well, why spend money getting these things back together when you can go and buy yourself the Audient Evo 16, stick it in your rack, and hey, you've got all the inputs and outputs that you'll need in a audio interface. Hi Eddie, you got a question already? Blimey.
You go, question. Where are my headphones?
That was 2 questions, Andrew.
Keep it to me and mute. And now I can hear. Hello.
Hot.
How's it going? Everybody well?
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah, we're all good, yeah.
What have you been up to?
I'm... how do you put it? Your words.
Loud. Can you turn yourself down a touch? There.
Better?
Yeah. Maybe
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Good. Basically, I'm trying the stupid thing of learning Pro Tools overnight.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Fuck hell, nothing makes sense.
Why do you need to learn it overnight?
Because I offer myself to collaborate on the writing and production of a friend's tracks, and there I already started the whole project in Pro Tools. And apparently, even with a free version, you can collaborate on the cloud. So you can have a common project on the cloud, and everybody's porting and making changes to everybody.
Interesting.
Obviously, because many of the other free DAWs are offering the same, including, well, not because it's free, but because they offer the same, including Cubase. So they have to keep up with the times.
Is there a free Cubase?
No, that's what I mean. Not because Cubase is free, but because they have it also. There is a similar thing that you might be interested, although it's kind of iffy. It's just if you really want more trouble. It's called Sequel 3. Was made for Cubase, trying to compete with Ableton Live many years ago, to the point that they're still providing it, but they don't support it anymore. But it's really, except for the looping thing and the grid of the samples of the loops side of it, it's very, very close to Ableton, and it's totally free. It's the only thing.
I had a sort of experience with Ableton a couple of weeks ago around at my dad's. For some reason, my dad's, he's got Ableton Lite, and he's got an M Audio MIDI keyboard, and he wanted to get this thing working together so that he could work it, and then he couldn't work out how to do it. And I went around. Well, I'll come around and see what I can make it do. See if I can sort it out. And remarkably quickly, I'd worked out how Ableton was recognising the M Audio keyboard just via a USB cable. It was there, so I set it up what it wanted it to do. I'd got it triggering some of the internal sound plugins quite nicely, some nice pianos on there, and got the latency down so it was playable rather than hitting a key and waiting 30 seconds for it to play. We sussed that out, and then calling up different plugins, working out how they worked, recording a little bit, recording another little bit. I was really taken with how quickly I sussed it, because all the other DAWs that I've tried, I found that process extremely difficult and frustrating, Cubase included. Cubase, Cakewalk, and I just thought Studio One, I've just found that something really, and I got, so that basic experience of finding the boring bits easy to do has made me go, I might be tempted. So again, I'm sort of thinking, yeah, I will go that way. And I know, and also Grace uses Ableton all the time. She knows it inside out and backwards. So again, that's also a possible help. I've never been certain about I mean, obviously it takes Cubase that goes like that, instruments down there, and tips it on its head. So you've got instruments across the top and everything going downwards. But that's just a perception view, and I don't think it'll take too long to overcome.
Just in case you didn't know, you can make it look like Cubase. It's the second view.
Right. Yeah.
But nobody wants that, and yes, they hit it on the head of the nail with the name Live. It's designed for doing the live performance.
Yeah. Particularly with the controller, and you see it all again, like at EMOM events and things, and hardware jams and stuff. You do see, those sort of things all over the place.
But I still hear people, because obviously it's not my experience. My experience with it was like 3 hours over a month trying to learn the basics. It's lovely that the training is in the screen you're handling, which is to my knowledge at first. Like the other ones that try to do it, they just they show you the steps 1, 2, and 3, and then you're on your own, mate. And when I built on Live, it teaches you all the way until you're finished with the track. I think that is golden. It's really awesome. But I still hear people complaining about it, like in being let alone live. So I don't know what are its weakest point. Its weak.
Yeah. I guess it's one of those things you just try it, you know. Paul.
Yes, Paul. You can just replace one if you want to replace one. It's not a problem. It's normally not recommended because it's sod's law that you replace the damaged VCF VCA and you put it all back together, and the following week the voice next to it, that one goes. Well, at least has been the experience we've had. Simply, I don't know, we're just disturbing the voice broadcast. But yes, you can certainly just replace the one. It's not a problem.
What are you waggling that about again? It's in a box.
I'm always waggling, you know that.
Is it going back, or have you got another one?
It's going back, because I'm making a live stream about the whole story. Like, and I'm putting on the spot Berenger to see how they react and how this thing came about. Sunday is 1 p.m. UK time, not next week. I'll explain in a second. And first of all, shock surprise, weekend something to give me an acknowledgement of my ticket. God, my glasses are so shiny. Then another week to give me an actual, we're on it, but we're waiting a reply from the tech team. So how can you calibrate it? Because it's not that I only want my one calibrated. I want everybody to be able to calibrate it on their own. The same way you can do with the 2600. You plug it on the USB, you get a text box, and you can calibrate it. They develop a whole sequence on the app, on the computer app. So that's what I was trying to push Behringer to do, because this is already included in the Music Tribe computer app for editing and computing and whatever. So come on, get your shit together, because yes, it's an analog thing, and it might get uncalibrated or decalibrated or drift away any minute now. So it kind of needs to have that in the background to patch it through as often as you're required. And but we have no replies. Oh, just wait a minute. Okay, I went on holiday, so I'm taking over these other guys. So no, the tech team says that's a fault on the hardware. You need to send it back in guarantee. And I was obviously in the show. I was like, dude, the trim pods are there. They even put a switch that, to me, I imagine, serves no other purpose than to trigger some kind of signal to calibrate the device. Why won't you teach us customers to do it on our own? No, send it back. It's a hardware malfunction. And that's the next thing I'm gonna check.
Well, if that's what they're telling you to do, you should do that.
Yeah, because A is in guarantee, and B because I want to report it in my channel. But I'm gonna do something to try to check if they're gonna just calibrate it and send it back, or they're gonna just it's actually a real malfunction, some hardware problem they had, and they're gonna just swap the whole unit. Keep tuned for all the newest news.
Yep.
Oh yeah. By the way, they asked me to put everything back, all the attachments, everything that came included in the box,
Screws. And the sticker.
Wrap
Already
it.
stuck on the back of somebody's caravan.
Say what?
I said, and the sticker, which you've already put on the back of somebody's caravan. Yeah.
No, I would put it in my case if I had enough stickers. I want to do the whole circle. No, put it back in the box, wrap the box, and put the wrapped box in another box, and then send that to the courier that I will send to me to pick it up. And if by any means, which is really likely, that we missed each other, the second attempt goes on me. They charge it on me. And this is anecdotes. This is not even a Behringer.
Yeah.
So, buyers beware.
Anyway, I'm going to go and fill my pint up with not pint.
Pint with not pint.
I made you thirsty. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use this. Thank God I saved tons of bubble wrap for these type of things. Not that I do it on a daily basis, but now I'm glad I did.
Huskies have gone all quiet.
Well, I did mute the mic, but they're not.
No, I wasn't seeing much action going on. They've all laid down.
Yeah, they're all. Well, I mean, the sun's been out, been quite hot. Well, I'm sitting in the shade. They're in the shade, but it's waiting to cool down, and they can come out and run round again. They need to come out before we go. We're sitting in the French field at the moment with them in an enclosed, fully enclosed field.
Yeah.
So they can run around without any danger or running away and things. But yeah, when it cools down before we go back for some tea or something, they'll come out for another run.
Because I think I got the laziest husky in Britain. He only stays standing up for about 5 minutes and then has to go and lie down again.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, what-
I mean, yeah. But when we're at home, I mean, they're the ones that don't get walked. The other two do, but the huskies don't.
Yeah.
So they're not much different to yours in that respect.
Mm.
And we haven't got a big garden. We've got a garden much smaller than yours. So
Mm.
yeah, they don't get. And now they've retired from racing. You know, they're less chance of exercise, but they're happy. It's what they're brought up with. So the same with Charlie. It's what he's been brought. Well, since you've had him, it's what he's been brought up with. So
Yeah.
they all adapt their life for what their surroundings are. Really, the home.
Yeah. Yeah. They do, I mean, they do play in the evenings, out in the garden and that. But then they come in and they play in the front room.
Yeah.
And up and down the stairs, into the bedrooms, back downstairs again, into the kitchen, back into the front room. Up on the
No,
settee.
see, we've always had a gate on the stairs, stop them going up. Yeah, because as much as anything, we can't trust them. Because some of them are just so nosy, inquisitive to the point of naughtiness, that we don't know what they're pulling out of a cupboard, or they've pulled out something out of the bathroom or something. I mean, too risky. So they don't go upstairs. The only thing they go upstairs for is a bath. and that's it. But yeah, I mean, running up and down the garden that we've got and in and out the house, yeah, especially now we've got the puppy, it entertains entertains three of the huskies, and occasionally the ginger one will join in as a fourth dog if he forgets himself and remembers that he likes the puppy sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hang on, this thing's been on. See if it's drifted.
Snappy envelopes.
That sounds like a nice name for a band.
All yours, Eddie. Feel free.
No, I already have mine, thank you. Cyberflash.
Oh, okay.
So Ken, did you watch the lightsaber video?
Yeah. Holy crap.
Holy crap, ain't it?
Yeah. That's mad. Where's the Twitter gone?
Yeah, why not? Got tons of space to fill up, so yeah.
I am twiddleless. Why am I twiddleless?
You've lost your twiddle?
I've lost my twiddler.
Don't say that to Fiona.
Oh. Yeah, I've got lots of weird names for some of the tools. It's just ridiculous.
Well, at least you got the tools.
Well,
You still have the work.
Well, it's all right for Fiona. She knows the names of some of these tools now.
Whoa. Respect.
When she moved in and everything like that, and they were going, have you seen Leggy? Like this, and she's going, Leggy? What's Leggy?
You actually have names.
Leggy. I was using it here yesterday. It's the beige unit. Leggy? What's Leggy? And then when I find it, I go, this is Leggy. That's a chip checker. Yeah, it's Leggy. Leggy the chip checker.
Don't get me wrong, it's a perfect
You're
name.
fucking mental, mate. You're fucking mental.
God, that's so awesome.
So where's Twiddler?
Twiddler.
Twiddler is still missing.
Driver.
Well, it
Is that the
basically...
pot trimmer?
Yeah, this is a trimmer. You put it in and you twiddle the pot.
Yeah.
So it's called a twiddler.
What else? Duh.
I take it that's a very small-headed screwdriver.
Tiny.
Yes, tiny. Almost glass fixing size, which I believe is flathead number 0.
Twiddleless.
Twiddlers.
Twiddleless. Kent is twiddleless.
There's the big one. There's the fucking little one.
Yeah, that's what toolboxes were made for, mate. You stop using it, you put it in the box.
Excuse me, my toolbox is taller than me. And then there's several of them. So I'm not
I
getting a
know.
toolbox up here.
No.
Where the hell? Oh. No. No.
Yeah. Check in all the small places. Said a customs officer.
Well, not live, anyway. Next thing I know, I'll be on OnlyFans.
Yeah, man.
With Robert.
Well, that would be a good duo, wouldn't it?
Oh, poor old Rob.
Yeah.
Well, I need it for the OBX tomorrow, so...
Oh yeah. Ooh, that keyboard wants to fall. The computer keyboard. The Cubase keyboard looks like.
I might have been smoking it. I'll check it downstairs.
Okay, we'll be here. Yeah, always look what the last time you had a fag. Oh my God! Look at those gorgeous things.
That's Hans Zimmer, Eddie. Oh, sorry, I mean the dogs. Sorry, right.
I mean, I would agree with you if it wasn't for the added S at the end. Things.
Yeah.
But apart from that, yeah, I agree with you.
Hans
Although I
Zimmer
don't know
and
what.
the Pro One. What more can you want?
Oh, the Pro One is a definitely gorgeous thing. No, in fact, in that picture,
Piece of crap.
with that smile, it reminds me of this actor. How can I explain you? It has a very weird face, kind of puffed up, like he abused Botox. He was in the latest Marvel films, playing a secret Hydra agent in the government.
No idea
Okay.
about that. I'm sorry.
I'll find it for you in a minute. It reminds me to that. What?
David's is in the chat. That's all.
No, sorry, I'm not following the chat. So, excuse me, people. I'm going to try to fix that in a second. So here, yeah, good. If in case anybody doesn't know, which by what I see everybody knows in here, if you don't flag me in the chat, I would not even see it, even less without glasses. So, Mr. Brooks, any new musical discoveries lately?
New musical discoveries, as in other people's music to go away and listen to.
No, like
Oh, you mean
you shared about
the Fur Elisa thing? Oh no.
for these.
Or I can just no, I won't say to that one. No, nothing remarkable that you won't already have heard of. So.
Don't be so sure. I've heard nothing. I know nothing.
What about? I've been enjoying the. I'm sure you've seen that Benj, Zach Dagober's videos.
I didn't go around.
Yeah, well worth a watch. They're really cool.
Cool. Do I need to watch it or listening is enough?
I think watch it because the way it's been done.
Okay.
The whole series, meme show.
Okay.
It's done like an old 1980s one of those
80s or 70s?
ni- ni-
Because it looks like
1980s shows about using computers.
okay.
You know, there were shows on the BBC about the BBC computer and the ZX Spectrum and all that sort of thing. And all the graphics are real sort of 8-bit blocky, and his presentation, his voice is never quite synced up, and it's beautifully done. Actually, it's
I know.
beautifully done.
I've heard, literally heard, all the previous ones, but the problem with me is I don't have that much time to put on watching YouTube. I listen to barely 30 to 40 hours of YouTube a week, but watching is a different business. And talking about watching, I just got amazed in this series about the PP1. I had to put together around 700 views in 5 videos. Very long one and boring ones, but hey, I guess I'm not the only one without a life.
Other people want to know about these things. Neil suggested
Good
you might have
evening.
left it in the Pro 1, Kent. Neil suggested that you might have left it inside the Pro 1.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
I'm setting Nelly on him. Inside the Pro 1.
Or Kent, did you use it for the 80 last night? Well, 2 nights ago.
No, I have
it's
completely
usually
different.
earlier.
I have a pencil twiddler for that. No, this is a very special one for Pro 1s because they've got such tiny, stupid tiny holes in the front panel. It's so you don't have to open it up and drop the board.
Okay, this is not working. Come on. We can talk. Hey Ian, how you doing, mate?
I'm
All
all right.
right.
How are you? How you doing?
Couldn't be here. I'm kind of busy.
Any update on the move yet, Ian?
No, we meet our buyer tomorrow. She's coming on tomorrow. So Jane's busy tidying up. We've just filmed our last Fringe video.
Right.
A roundup of the best things that we saw, which I'm about to start editing. And I was sorting out your stuff for streaming release this morning.
Oh.
Have you not seen the email? I emailed you about Russia. How you felt about Russia?
What, as a holiday destination?
When did you email me, Ian?
This morning. Let me see when sent. What would that? Maybe I didn't send it to you. Yeah, Grace Andy Vonal. Yeah, streaming territory restrictions. It's called. Has it gone in spam? I'll read it to you, Andy.
No, it's come through now.
All right, mate.
It wasn't yet. It has come through. There we go. Streaming territory restrictions. I don't know.
When I did,
happy for the album to be released in Russia.
I don't know. Like Grace, I'm a bit conflicted by it, to be honest. When I did Dave Walker's album, I had no choice. They weren't releasing streaming in Russia because of the war.
Right. Yeah.
So no, I am slightly conflicted by it. I mean, there's obviously, not everybody in Russia is pro-war. We know that because quite a lot of people are.
It's not their fault.
It's not their fault. Exactly.
I don't blame the Russian people.
I don't either.
I've got no problem with that particularly.
No.
I think why. I mean, it's a very small action that won't impact any way on the leadership or the military of Russia.
No, it won't. And if we start. If we start doing it there, what about China and the Uyghurs and all the other places across the world that it's a difficult one.
Grace might feel a bit different.
One out.
Yeah. So from my point of view, I'm fine.
It's okay. It's the pub.
Oh God.
Well, yeah.
I'm working, Jane, honest.
Working in the
That's
pub.
a nice reaction, Jane.
Kent says that's a nice reaction, Jane. A nice reaction.
Yeah.
She laughed.
Oh, Kent,
Laugh,
son.
Kent.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I have been accused of spending more time with you than her in the past.
Oh, you get that as well.
Yeah.
I said, Fiona, I said it. I thought you'd be pleased. She goes, well, I am kinda. Right. Please forgive me.
What were you
I'm just
going
going to make a
If I
horrible
act a
droning
little
noise for a
strange.
couple of seconds.
Oh, it's okay. I'm just going to
Horrible.
transfer some
A
video
nice droning
footage. Oh yeah. This is where I find out that the
I can
10
call
minute-
that horrible.
No, it's all right, isn't it? This is where I find out where the 10 minutes of filming that we've just done, which went really well, and I didn't switch the mic on or something like that. That's usually what would happen.
Oh.
No, I use the mic that you've got to switch on. I use one of these. Where's my camera gone?
What? A toilet brush?
Yeah, dead cat. Can't beat a dead cat.
Here we go again. I was supposed to have
Nothing horrible about that.
That'll be fourpence, please.
Yes, it will. Yeah, put it on my tab.
Yeah.
Talking about tab, did you manage to find your iPad?
Yes, I found the iPad in the end. Yeah. I'd left
Could you
that somewhere
check it?
fucking stupid as well.
Could you check the question, please? Because I'm trying to sync and schedule and organize stuff around that question.
That question.
The one I sent you a week ago.
Let's,
Eddie, you ask a lot of questions, so question that was a week ago.
got to separate it from the other questions. Oh, hang on. Right,
I'm
hang on.
consistent. Very reference mania to be consistent, though.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that move separately? Okay, what we got here? Hang on. How long will it take you to fix this button? Fucking hell, what did you do to that?
That's how I bought it.
Oh, you
Good
bought it.
afternoon, YouTube.
So
Hey.
that's the fee. So that's the issue. You bought it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't normally go and see that sort of thing.
What's it on?
That's your
Ian,
Sorry?
audio's working.
Audio's working.
Microphone was on.
Yeah.
My microphone was on, so we're all right. I've just got to edit out the rubbishy bits in the middle.
I want to ask Kent if he can share the picture
The picture.
of Eddie's whatever he's bought that's a mess.
Sure, go ahead.
Hang on.
I have nothing to hide, even the things I should.
Yeah, it's just the whole sort of like me doing something in StreamYard making it work. Hang on. Okay, let's see if that works. So you go to present, you go to slide, I suppose. Oh no, that's not it. Present.
Oh, Ian, in the meantime, I have a question
Yeah.
for you since you're professional.
Oh, I like a question.
No, you don't. So, bubble wrap. What's
Yeah.
the side that goes up? The
What do you mean,
flat
what's the
one?
I have no idea. I just
Because to me, it should go the flat side up.
does it matter?
That's why I'm asking. Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. I would say it doesn't matter because you usually wrap. Depends what you're wrapping, I suppose. But I would tend to wrap something in bubble wrap at least twice round.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
okay. Because to me, it makes more sense to have it smooth in the outside instead of bubbly in the outside.
I really don't. I've given it absolutely no thought. In all the years that I've been working in retail, I have given it zero thought until this minute.
You and the rest of humanity, I know.
So I have. Don't ask me. I have no idea. You know.
Yeah, at least you've been working in retail and having to pack things very far, far away.
Yeah.
Do you also ponder which side of the toilet paper you use as well?
No, but I'm really strict about which side you put the hanging bit. Extremely strict. Front, never on the back. Always on the front. Forward motion, not pulling motion.
Need him.
Careful what you have.
Oh,
And
I hate this.
toothpaste always from the bottom, never from the top. Always.
Oh,
Never-
it's the bottom. What,
Never,
well,
ever in the middle. Will kill you if you do it in the middle.
I do it in the middle.
No, just kidding. I kill nobody.
So I'm not,
You're not worthy.
it's good that we don't live together, Eddie. That's all I would say.
Sorry, come again.
I also leave the toilet seat up occasionally.
Oh my god.
To me, that's the logic bit, but after living with women for too long time, I just gave and put it down.
This doesn't let me share tabs.
Can you
No,
it should let
share
you just
a
share
window instead of a tab?
You share it.
Because you can.
I think what I
Tap
can
out to it.
share apparently is the entire screen is the only thing I've got available.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't really want that. Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Up to you. Just be aware you might be accidentally recording sensitive
Yeah.
information.
I see what you mean there.
yeah,
100%.
yeah, that's all I get.
Okay, switch to the tab, to the other tab, to the one with the pictures.
Hang on a minute.
So basically, wait, I can do one better.
Go on, you do one better. Click the screen icon in your address bar.
I'm trained on this. I did it already on Sunday.
Full screen. Are you trying to get rid of the writing on the keyboard? Or have you actually written it all?
I kind of like it because it's very well sticking. Like it looks like something that would come from factory, and it's black. It's black. It's black on white and white on black. I find it aesthetically pleasing. Kill me now. Do it.
Well, it shouldn't take long to replace the button. Have you got the button?
It's, as I said in the text, it's a stock inside. I think it's tethered by some kind of string or probably a cable. You remember that you don't like many screws to open a synthesizer?
Ideally.
You're going to hate this one. I think it's even worse than 1,000. Because
Yes,
to
front
get to
panel
the
mounted.
button,
Yeah.
to get to
Take
the
everything
button, you need to go through, I counted 3 layers of PCBs because they're stacked like it overlapping. So if you remove, you can't just remove the one in the bottom unless you can remove all of the PCBs in one, which I don't expect so from this brand of and type of
No,
budget.
you have to take the keyboard out and take all the CPU board out and everything like that, and then you've got to unscrew all the screws to hold the front panel boards in.
Hence the
Hold
question,
the document.
because
But
what I'm trying.
that button is part of a matrix of buttons. And what's happened is where they connect, it's broken.
It's broken.
So we have to repair that before we put it all back in. But it's doable.
So it requires glue setting time. Okay. Because the question is, since I need to do the trip to exchange what's already on the go, I was wondering if it was a fast enough thing. Obviously, I could do it to spend the day over yours. If you can do it on the day, we'll do it. But since that questions, I got the 35, and the 35 also needs work. So it's okay to just drop both, and whenever you're ready, I'll be back.
Yeah, okay then.
But for what is going on is already on the go. I would want for you to dedicate at least 2 hours with your thing, because I'm bringing some info with the thing, tons of info. So kind of a crash course.
Okay. Okie.
And since you said that the open mic, the Spongles open mic or Spongles reunion is not going to happen anytime soon, it could be at any time now.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for some parts to finish your side of it. And when I get those, it should be ready in a week.
Okay, coke. No problem. I'm just going to check and see if I got an update on Andy's backlight.
Is it a whole new screen or just a light?
It's just a backlight. They wanted far too much for a replacement screen.
Oh.
And seeing as it's only the backlight that's gone, they thought, right, we'll take the backlight out. So it's not much work to pull it apart anyway, so it doesn't really matter from that point of view. But I think they wanted about 150 something or other for the screen, and then deliver it, the delivery and everything, and the import duty because it's not here. Whereas the backlight's 15 quid and it's up the road, sort of thing. So
absolutely,
it's a good, take that route.
Just the 35, it needs new ports and a couple of things, but what I think it needs the most is the joystick lever. It's the cheapest, I assume it's the cheapest they did in the 90s, everything plastic, but seems like the port and the actual pointy thingy, like it came a little apart or it's wiggling around it.
Yeah,
so
it's a wiggle stick.
It's a wiggle stick.
Yeah,
Don't we love the wiggle?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not
wiggy
broken
stick.
because they're impossible to replace now. You can't get them.
Well,
somebody's breaking one up. Yeah, you have to wait until somebody breaks one up. Yeah.
Oh, but is hope on fixing it?
Possible. Yeah, I've got a plastics repair kit. You know, the ones what you do is you get the 2 bits of plastic, and then you have this special soldering iron where you put the wire into the plastic.
I never know that.
Wire, and it welds it and strengthens it. So you put like a little steel wire in it. So I got that for repairing such items.
So there is hope. Thank you. Awesome.
Oh, yeah, there's always hope. It's just
Although
trying to
for that
make
particular one,
costs run wild. That's always been the challenge.
for that particular one, out of 3 faults I found in it, there's only one I want to fix. The other 2 I wouldn't care, because it's the second least valuable item in the collection.
Okay.
So let's make it dirt and cheap. Sorry.
Now then, folks, I'm going to jump out and go cook myself sort of cross between lunch and tea. So I'm going to jump out for a bit. If you're still running later, I'll jump in later. If not,
Lunny?
Lunny.
You're going for Lunny? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Be
Be of good cheer.
And if I don't see you, I'll see you on Thursday, Kent. All right.
Oh, done.
So,
No problems.
try everyone. See you later.
Bye. You're very relaxed there, Keith. Meet you, mate.
Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You're still muted, mate. Still can't hear you.
Weird.
I know,
still
it's
can't
on
hear you.
purpose. What? Hello?
No.
Are you pulling my
No.
tail?
No, we can't hear Keith. We can hear you, Ed.
Oh, Keith. Okay.
Yeah. If it's an iPad, take the headphone socket out and plug it back in. That's sometimes that with mine.
That one?
Yeah, I get that as
That
well.
sounds better.
Yeah, no. Good grief. The
Nice
dogs
grass.
were running. Yeah, the dogs were running about, and I've got such a long lead because this is what I use in the house when I'm in the loft. And my phone's on a clamp on the end of a keyboard, and then I sit back with the earbuds in and things. So yeah, I just bring it with me. It's easier than just pulling it apart and
I'm sure.
things. Grass. Oh, well. Traffic.
Damn it, I want a working brain.
You want to what?
A working brain.
A working brain. All right, okay. Can't help you with that one, mate.
I know. Although a very significant portion of your extremely powerful one would do it.
Oh.
Very nice.
Mm.
What do you mean? It's very nice. Which is saying a lot, because I don't know why it's so hard for synths to do guitar. Even, yeah, the hardest one is electric guitar, but they also struggle with acoustic guitar. They always get it wrong.
Because it's all the frequencies. So it's always best approximation, hence the word synthesizer.
Yeah, but wait, the problem I found about the frequencies is not that they're not putting enough, it's that they're putting too much. Even, specifically for electric guitar, they don't realize that every electric guitar goes through a mid-range speaker. So there is no top end and there is no bottom end, as in nothing really below 80 hertz and nothing really below above 10K. Yeah. But on keyboards, they pull the full range of harmonics. So that's why they sound synthetic. They sound weird. It's like, no, that's not a guitar.
Yeah. Well, you put that to just about any acoustic sound ever.
No, don't get me wrong. I mean, so right now, and even more because even the JVs, they were really close sounding samples to sound libraries. The ones that are releasing nowadays, they're even closer and the higher tags and blah, 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 blah. But I think they got some of them really, really nailed once inside the mix. Nobody could tell the difference.
Yeah.
But anything from the 80s up to late 90s, the guitar side, it's really appalling. Hence, why you didn't manage to take the job away from guitar players in your band. And we all know you tried.
That's guitar. I mean,
That to me is a bass guitar. just play very high. When it comes to timbre, to harmonic imbalance.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can stop talking shit and do some work. Failed.
It works. I don't know. That's my problem is I think I have too much stuff. That's what it has to do. No, it doesn't do anything.
Be right back.
Oh, well. Yeah, the CS80 is nice. It's always nice. The unison mod on it is, I think, sometimes too much, to be honest with you. There's a difference between and you never get earwax, that's for sure.
Hail almighty CS80.
Can you not do a circuit mod on that, Kent?
In what way?
Well, I would say potentiometer to go between the two. You know, the difference between unison and no unison. That was all.
Oh, right, yeah, well, I think technically you can use the expression pedal for it.
Right.
So you could
Sorry.
it's a bit low. Just got to remember to crank it down a little.
Drop it down because I just need.
No, Saturday wasn't enough, Manny. You know that, mate. So I got my license extended, so I can have the pub open on bank holidays. As long as there's no fighting.
Which is more than they got for the women's football, but
Yeah.
don't think that really matters to many people here, does it?
I don't know. It was not. It was nice to see that the ladies' team, you know, the ladies' football got significant coverage. You know, and it wasn't so, you know, so masculine dominated in how it's done. Even though it was still obviously very present. We got that.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, the hype it got, you know, regardless of the end result, was just, I think, well deserved. You know, the women's rugby's getting,
Yeah.
you know, better coverage now.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the two really left out sports, isn't it? In
Yeah.
you know, for the women's coverage sort of thing, and then the women's cycling, the pro cycling is now getting a little slice of the cake, so they can do a mini Tour de France and a mini Giro thingy and the other one.
Yeah. Actually, I find the women's rugby actually quite entertaining because I mean the pace of the game is still the same, but my God, they can lose their temper out there sometimes. They get a bit violent.
Yeah. Well, I know someone who's playing for Great Britain. Might be over 35s or something.
Yeah.
And things. So they've had a little bit of publicity lately and things. And certainly another one of my friend's daughters was playing. Well, she played football for a long time. She played for Ipswich, and I think she's had a go at rugby. But it's. I mean, she's a big girl. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's a bit tougher than she thought, and she's not young. So I think when they get hurt, I think it hurts a bit more, which always happens when you're older, isn't it? I mean, a little knock here and a bang there and the things, and you suddenly think, oh, that hurt. Whereas 20, 30 years ago, you just brushed it off and...
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're doing... I mean, the men's game's been sort of like dulled back, so it's not quite so violent as it used to be. And they're definitely taking more notice of head injuries and stuff like that. So high tackles.
As they are in football. So they're worried about heading, aren't they? Well, they've been heading, probably worried about heading for the last 10 years or so now. People are trying to correlate information on head injuries to then later brain issues, for want of a better word. I can't think of a word, but like that. I mean, there's loads of sports, isn't there? Some of the what's the words? The judos and the things of the world, they're starting to get padded up, aren't they? Well, not judo, but some of the other karate and the contact sports and things. They're starting to wear padding and things, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas people just went through their sporting life without any. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, they did it in boxing. I mean, although you can still get quite bloodied even with one of those boxing gloves.
Yeah. Yes, and it's when we got West, I think, to play since we'll have to start worrying, isn't it?
Won't be long.
Boxing gloves in case we get RSI from pushing those keys down. As well, Keith Emerson suffered, didn't he?
Yeah.
His hand and his wrist or something, and that I remember probably in the 90s he was going through surgery for it, and obviously he was absolutely worried at the time it was going to finish his career, but it didn't. Not sure what that was, Eddie.
Yeah, no idea.
I'll show the picture and then I'll read the caption. Wait a second, can I share?
But then again, Kent. His issues with his hands and his playing is what finished Emerson off, isn't it?
Yeah. He
was so worried that he could no longer play as he used to play, and he ended it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is...
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the reason.
Yeah. He got probably RSI and goodness knows what going up through his hands, his wrists or whatever again. Couldn't play or something. And he ended it.
It's really sad, isn't it?
Well, it is, because he was 71. I know.
Yeah.
But then again, he's played tens of billions of notes in his life. It's got to, he's got to take a toll. And I know And I noticed Rick Wakeman, when he done his last tour, he had some big wrist things and hand things, and I don't know whether it was he's got issues or whether literally because where he was playing, his hands were cold. You know, his hands and his wrists and whatever were cold. But he had some massive things strapped to his wrists and things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, my hands, wherever they are, I spend my day probably at a computer, probably 7 or 8 hours typing, and my fingers are shot. My hands, both hands, 3 fingers on each hand, on my wrists, and going up into my forearms and things, because that is my job. And I can't afford to retire. I can't not type for my job, you know. So,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, when they moved our department 2 years ago, they put in 6 steps to go from the office we sit in down to the main warehouse where our parts department, where our parts are. So I'm up and down those steps in numerous times a day. My right knee now has got RSI because you're also not just going down, but you're lifting and carrying things up and down and things. So, you know, my job's slowly killing me off.
Yeah,
But
I get pretty.
Shall I sing it?
Pretty bad pains in my wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but you know,
I broke it, but couldn't go to the hospital, so it set a little weird. So, when it's cold, man, does it fucking ache?
Well, yeah, this is what makes my hands hurt when it's cold, and I go in. You know, I sit in an office with heat. You know, when it is that cold with fingerless gloves. You know, it's bad.
Yeah.
Because the backs of my hands, it gets so painful. But when the heating comes on and things, it's fine. But it just doesn't. Anyway, I've got to go and eat now, apparently. So I'll jump back in if you're still on later.
All right, bud.
Good to see you, Keith.
Yeah, and you in, and everyone else.
mate.
Ciao. See you.
Take care.
Nice seeing the doggies.
I think I can keep it open now. In my side, his voice was as loud that it would open my gate.
Ah.
Oh, dum 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 dum. We were watching Airplane 2 last night. Not as good as the first.
Right, my next one is Andre and Doreen.
Whoever that is.
Who's that? Andre Andorine.
Sorry, I thought I was on mute.
That's right, bud.
It's one of Jane's choices for the best shows of the Fringe. Andre and Doreen. It was actually I thought it was going to be a puppet show. It wasn't. It was actually Spanish theatre company.
Yeah.
So it was silent, and they had these great big sort of like papier-mâché heads on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Jane liked it a lot more than me. I thought it was all right, but he didn't make my top 5. But he made Jane's. It was very poignant at times, you know, because it was about getting old and Alzheimer's and things like that, you know.
Did you go
incredibly well done?
Did you go to the comedy at the Fringe?
Some, yeah. We were invited to go and review. I think it was a complete sold out show for the whole month, and then Anya somebody, up and coming comedian. She was really funny, you know. We did. What else did we do? Hang on. Let me look back at my my videos because I can tell you what I did. We went to we were invited to the Stand Comedy Club had a showcase on literally the night we arrived.
All right.
And it's typical, isn't it? So we were already invited to the Assembly, who are one of the big promoters, to their gala, which is a 2-hour show. And on the same night, the Stand decided to have their comedy gala as well. So we worked out that we could do the first half of the Stand, which was 40 minutes, and then they were going to have a 10-minute break, and then we were going to miss the second half.
Yeah.
So we did go to that. There was nobody that I really knew. They were all really good.
Yeah.
Although Joe Caulfield was going to be on the second half. Now we had tickets to see her because she comes to Pocklington next month.
Yeah.
But annoyingly, my youngest son has decided to get married on the same day. I mean, how inconsiderate is that? So I've
Didn't
given
he
the
check
tickets.
first?
No, so I've given the tickets away. Given them to a mate of mine. So we never got a chance to sort of see her with other stuff that was going on. What else did we see that was comedy?
I was trying to think because I did the Radio 4 Extra coverage where they did the stand-up stuff, and they had a guy on who normally tours or did tour recently with oh God, what's his name? Oh, I can see him. Joe Lycett.
Oh, right.
Recently done a little stint with him and everything. He was really good. There was a Scottish guy on there who was absolutely hilarious. I think we'll hear more from this guy. And then there was this girl come on, and it was like just not funny.
Really, you can get that sometimes.
Yeah, it was very out there. I think you'd have to
you had to tune into
get
a comedy.
comfortable to her to her comedy, and then or at some point you go, all right, I get it now. But this was like, and the whole place was silent. It was like quite bad.
One of the most amazing shows, for a whole host of reasons, was Chelsea Hart. Now, I had no idea who Chelsea Hart was. We were asked to do, so the show, it was, I'm really crap at pronouncing, people's names, but the show, the sold out show that was all the way through the Fringe was Anya Margalo. She really is hot property. I mean, literally, the whole run for the whole month was sold out, which was almost unheard of. She put some extra dates on, and we went to one of those, and she was really funny. When they asked us if we wanted to go to that, we said yes. They said, well, will we review Chelsea Hart and somebody else? The other show we never got to, but the Chelsea Hart show, which we would never have picked. So she's American. Or Canadian. I think she's Canadian, but lived in America. Lives in London now. Very big with Iranians, and most of we were the minority in the audience. Most of the audience were Iranians. There was 2 Scottish. There was us, and everybody else was Iranian. Not a particularly big venue. The comedy was absolutely brilliant. And then it got very political. So it went from really, really funny to really political, and we were getting it because it's like we were talking about the Russia thing. The Iranian, regime. Most Iranians do not support the regime. Certainly, those people that have managed to escape from the country, and all of the atrocities that's going on. And she was covering all of this. And at the end, literally, we were all in tears because she showed a piece of camera phone footage of a girl in Iran protesting against the regime, saying everybody was fine, everybody will be fine, and she got shot. And that was her dying moment. And it was just, everybody was in floods of tears.
Bloody hell.
And so it went from really, really funny, taking the piss out of the Iranian regime and her own country, because I think she's from Ankara or something. So standard comedy stuff, but very funny. To really political, but still funny, and then this really emotive sort of last 10 minutes, which was, I mean, we all give her a standing ovation. It was amazing. I've never seen anything like it. And I wouldn't normally have gone to see it.
Yeah.
But she's really big on TikTok, and she, and the bit in the Fringe website didn't sell what the show was really about. That was most of the comedy that we saw. We didn't go to. It was, I mean, we didn't do an awful lot of stand up.
Right.
Yeah, just a comment. That show sounds really interesting, and I love the bittersweet side of comedy. That's why I love Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
Because it's a film that pulls three huge emotions out of me every single time I watch it. I laugh my ass off. I'm really empathizing with the situation, and I cry like a maniac at the end.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go on. I was going to say one of the funniest. It wasn't stand up, but one of the funniest shows. I think I probably told you about it before we saw it. Was called A Up Hitler, and it's the idea that Hitler didn't die in the bunker. He came to Yorkshire and started running a pub. I mean, Jane really didn't like it and refused to give it any stars. I actually thought it was. I mean, I got that
it was
we
edgy.
should be taking. It was edgy. We should be taking the piss out of Hitler and the Nazis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I gave it 4 stars. And it was, for me, it was daft funny, but it was very funny. Sorry, go ahead.
I agree we should be taking the piss out of the situation to lighten it up, but in my book, we should never forget.
Oh, no, I completely agree with you.
Well, while you're taking the piss out of it, it's hard to forget, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the whole point. All of it keeps it in the consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the new generations only get access to the parodies, they're missing something. And I'm a true believer on that maxim that says that every generation who doesn't know his history is damned to repeat it.
Yeah,
So,
you'd be hard pushed to get through life without knowing about it.
I mean, my bigger worry is the Holocaust deniers. Those people out there that actually, I don't know. It's some sort of indoctrination, isn't it? They believe that it never happened.
Yeah.
Now, there's
people
so
believe
much,
that.
And that's regardless of the evidence. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
so
like it's
rather
like the
take the
flat
piss
Earth
out of
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
I know. It's sort of like it's like a.
We know the
cult-
Earth is round, but really, it's the same thing, isn't it?
It's a culture to be contrary-wise.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but mate, I don't know. I mean, one of the guys that I had up at the Fringe, he was saying about. He goes. He says I had a really bad gig. He said it was a freebie, but it was being sponsored by a charity for against torture and to help victims of torture and all this sort of thing. And they even have people who have been tortured in the organisation. And so he said, so this guy who runs this charity went up first before me. He says, and he goes out there and he says he talks for 25 minutes with slides and everything like that. About the horrors of torture and what has happened to some of these people, and how they're waterboarded. And he says it went into really graphic detail. He said,
"Oh wow!"
And the place is like very, very somber, and it's all. And he goes, "Right, I've got to go out there and tell jokes." He says,
"How do you follow that?"
Yeah, he goes, "I'm going to lighten the mood." He said, "So I walked out there, and I went." he goes. So what I said was, he goes. Well, I'll tell you what was fucking torture. Listening to him for the last 25 minutes, right? And he said nothing. Right? And he said, "There's his family members of everything are in the audience, members of the organisation in the audience, and everything else like that." And he's just gone, Yeah, I didn't read the room.
No,
Just ready to go to
no.
fuck it all.
Yeah.
So it can, but it happens. It happens.
It's like when we went to the embassy, not the embassy, the one of the galas, the assembly gala it was, and so it's a 2 hour show. We didn't know it was a 2 hour show. We thought it might be a break in the middle, and the idea is that they put on a number of acts, and people do pay to go to this thing, so it's not just for press. It's anybody can go to it. I think the tickets were not cheap. It was 16 quid a ticket. So, but it's a 2 hour show, and there's like 15 minutes of and each act's got 15 minutes, and there's a whole host of. So there was some comedy stuff, and there was dance and all sorts of stuff. The chairman, not the chairman, the CEO of the assembly came out, and he must have done about 50. Oh, he was meant to do like 10 minutes, and he was probably 20 minutes, and talking about sucking the air out of the room. So we'd had a few acts, and people were quite happy. He comes out, gives his speech. Luckily, there was no PowerPoint, but honestly, it was all about how badly that the assembly organisation were on the brink of bankruptcy because they'd invested in, I think it was a festival down in Coventry that they never got paid for, and it was just like, God, come on, man! It's the opening night of the Edinburgh Fringe, and the compere. Well, I've forgotten his name for now. Comedian, he just ripped the piss out of him for the rest of the night, And the word on the street was, did you go to the assembly gala? What was William's speech like? It was just talk about misreading the room, and all those people that are paid to go and see this thing, are thinking, what have I paid 16 quid to sit here for 20 minutes and I've got bloke talk to me about how badly his company is, but. Yeah,
because one of the women comedians, female comedians at the Fringe this year, and she's got to do more work than all of them. Poor cow. But it shows you how brave she is, really. Her name's Alia Janine.
Alia Janine.
Yeah, and she's more famous for being a porn star more than anything else. Right? She used to
wow. Right.
She did, and she did the works, right? And she's on all the sites and all the rest of it. So videos, photos, and she took up stand-up.
She's not a lady with very large breasts.
Huge,
really large breasts, and a
Yeah.
very sort of like a shop girl voice.
yeah,
Really high voice.
yeah.
We saw I think she was at the Space. I can remember what a show. I can't remember what a show was called, but and she came out and did sort of 5 minutes, and it was only because she came out and she's got these huge chest and all the rest of it, and she's cracking jokes, and I mean I have to say it was a tough crowd because it was all journalists, and they weren't laughing very much, and then I sort of saw her backstage and I said, well done, basically. And that was her voice. That wasn't she wasn't putting that voice on.
No, it wasn't put on.
So I don't know how well the show did. There was also a guy on the same bill who did a stand-up Harry Potter thing. So he came out as Harry Potter, a Canadian comedian, and we thought he was actually he was pretty good, really. But literally, he died a death, and we saw him at the end and went, we think the crowd were too harsh. He went, it was a bit of a tough crowd,
Yeah. Sometimes you can second guess yourself and you go, is it my material? Is it the way I'm delivering it? And sometimes it's just because you've got a miserable bunch of fuckers in the room.
Just by timing.
So I mean, but I mean, she's really struggled because of well, there'll be people in the audience that know who she is, recognise her, stuff like that. And
I mean, I'm sure,
yeah, but because her routine never enters that world, people are there listening to everything she says as being sort of like contrite and when you're going to get to the good stuff. And I emailed her. I follow her as well, and I said to her, I said, how about? I know you live in America, and this won't be easy, but actually make the material more about, relating to the industry you were in, and take the piss out of it, and get humour out of that. I said, it's got to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I mean,
I don't know about that and everything like that.
I mean, stand up must be really tough. I mean, I could never,
Well, like she said, she goes, she could probably do it in somewhere like Manhattan, or places like that, or SoCal or stuff like that. She goes, but when you get more to the interior and you get to the sort of like, Tennessee and stuff like that, there's areas in Tennessee where I would not go. So, I get what she's getting at, but see, the thing is, being known for that, and then it makes her material
it's a pivot, isn't
bland.
It?
It's very bland because of it. Even if it is good and funny, it's not hitting the proper level because of but she's a porn star.
But I mean, let's face it. I mean, like it's like music, isn't it? Comedy is such a personal thing. I mean,
oh Christ,
Jane and I have sat there occasionally and thought, actually, this isn't. I mean, it's and other people are laughing. I mean, I remember we saw a show a couple of years ago, and we were just the wrong audience. Now, and it wasn't. I mean, we did get to the point where we got sick of lots of female comedians, and the comedy was all about the sex life. Well, that can get a bit boring to some extent,
you've got to mix it up a bit,
but this, I won't mention the comedian because she was there again this year, and we purposefully didn't go back because we just thought we're not, and when you look around the room, and enough people were getting it, she was going down well, but we didn't get it, and we don't always agree. Like I say, I loved Adolf Hitler and thought it was really, really funny. Jane
did not.
She didn't think it was rubbish. It was, but she struggled with the fact that it's the context of it, really.
Yeah.
So we don't always agree.
Yeah, but it's in much the same way. There are people who think the producers is hilarious, and people who really, really don't.
Well, actually, the first thing I thought about with this, it had elements of the producers in it because obviously, when you're taking a piss out of Hitler, Springtime for Hitler is genius, isn't it?
Yeah.
And hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
And hello. The TV show.
Hello. I never really watched Hello.
Do you know what? I'm surprised.
You're missing, mate. You're missing.
Yeah, but how did they get that many series from one joke?
Yeah, I mean, I
Do you know what I mean? It's just the same joke every week. Just doing,
But that's modern humor for us. It's all about repetition and getting the hook and hook it again. So, Ian, just for chatting's sake, how long have you been going to this festival?
I've been going to this festival. Jane went before me. She went in 1985, I think.
Early.
Either 85 or 84. I went the following year. So I've been going since 85, 86 as a punter. And then
I don't think.
So, and then I started writing for an online blog probably 7 or 8 years ago. So I used to go and write and do reviews that way. And then we worked it out actually because Jane thought she'd been doing the YouTube thing for 3 years. She's actually been doing it for 4 years. Although the first year, because we look back at one of the first videos that we did, we never used to give stars. We just used to sit there, and because Edinburgh is all about how many stars. And I think what happened was we did a review on a show that it had a really terrible poster, and the poster was this, and it was a comedy. It's a sort of comedy, sort of travelogue show, one-man show. Can't remember the guy's name, and it had a poster of him as a pregnant man. It was a terrible poster, right? And we saw because I used to just tweet, and we do the reviews, and I'd tweet about it. So we met his producer, and I said, the post is terrible. Yeah, he says, I know the post is terrible. I told him the post was terrible. I said, well, we really like the show. He said, how many stars? I said, well, we don't really do stars. And then he tweeted me, he said, can you give me some stars? Because if you give me stars, I can then retweet it and say, we've had so many stars from, we weren't doing it as Sinners Review then, we were doing it as just me. So I think we gave it 4 stars because nobody was going to see it, or very few people were going to see it. So it was quite a big theatre. I mean, literally, we were in an audience, we were given the tickets. We were an audience of 7, I think. And at that point, we weren't getting press tickets because after doing the way that the press tickets used to work when I was writing for the blog, it was an absolute nightmare. You literally had to physically go into the Fringe office every morning at 9 o'clock to get your press tickets for that day. Yeah. So I said, I'd had enough of that after a few days, and we just used to go and pay, or we'd go to the free Fringe and then put something in a bucket. And Jane had a really good way of actually spotting people with free tickets, So I think I was accredited. Jane wasn't in those days, but and from then on we just did the reviews like everybody else does,
So in the private chat, I wrote the title of what I consider one of the top peak comedian group in Spain for most of the 80s and a big chunk of the 90s. Because if I say it out loud, you might not even recognize it. That's how you write it.
Yeah.
Have you ever come across these people?
No, I'd have to look up. It doesn't ring a bell. But there again, I'm getting senile. So
it's 3 people doing a slastic, no words. I mean, yes, they use words, but nothing that would become a blockage to the message.
Yeah.
Or like accents for something specific, then they use one word. One of them uses one word. It's all very visual, and it's one of the Spanish comedians that always had me rolling all on the ground. Because as I said, to you it might seem a little formulaic or a little derivative of all the people, because they were basically very likely drinking from other people from abroad.
Yeah.
But to me, they're hilarious. The older the stuff, almost the better. Obviously, the beginnings are always lousy for every comedian. So go for the middle stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes some comedies don't cross borders well, and some does. I mean,
but visual comedy usually does really well.
Yeah,
like I say,
especially the silent stuff, where there isn't any, so there's no language barrier. Like Jacques Tati and what have you. Yeah, so I mean, that kind of thing. So. Yeah, mate. Thing about the Fringes, though, I mean, if you went to the Fringe in '84, you're looking at what, 40 quid for the week.
Honestly. I mean, and I was saying to Jane, the thing that's also seems to have happened now is that you used to get literally every sort of church hall would be a venue, and literally, so you really could do it on a shoestring. That's all gone. Very few church halls get used now. They're all hotel rooms that are actually kitted out with proper PAs and everything. There is still there's still the big issue as you're going around is this venue going to be a 5-minute chair? Those horrible plastic chairs that nobody wants to stay in for very long. Yeah. Your heart sinks when you go in and you're going to be sat on that bloody awful chair for an hour. Sometimes you sat on a bench for an hour. So there's still a bit of that, but generally, that sort of DIY element of the Fringe, a lot of it has gone, and it's just priced out. I think the big issue for next year onwards is accommodation is stupidly expensive now, but it's going to be worse next year because there's some new law coming in to do with Airbnbs.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, I don't know the full details, but. It was deferred for this year, so and student accommodation, because that first week we stayed in that student flat, which, yes, it was expensive, but actually we had the little flat to ourselves. The bed was big enough for 2 people, although sometimes a student bed isn't big enough for 2 people. And we had our own sort of little kitchen and bathroom, although it was small, but it was perfectly doable. Wi-Fi was good, and that was nearly 800 quid for the week.
You think that is on purpose? That student beds don't fit the people.
Maybe. But it was. The other thing is, it was clean because we stayed in a place on Cowgate probably 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, and that was student accommodation. And we said we wouldn't go back because it was absolutely filled. Every surface you touched was like that sticky pub feel. It was really horrible. The shower.
At accommodation,
smell,
kind of hostel.
in a student flat. Yeah, it was really horrible. And apparently, we were talking to somebody who was staying there, who was an actor staying there, and it sounded like it was the same venue. And she said it was still like that, really, But the place we stayed, we're going to go back to next year if we can because it was really good. Bit of a trek to get to everything, but walking's what you do in Edinburgh, I mean, I have to say the guest house we stayed at, it was pretty grotty for 1,400 quid for the week, which is what it did cost.
Yeah,
I know. It's all I could get because we did book it quite late.
Sometimes it's sort of like there's no room at the inn.
Yeah.
Paul Holmes going on about Ken Dodd.
What about Ken Dodd? I'm not.
Well,
I haven't got chat up.
Well, there used to be this joke of like, it was two people at a bus stop, and one says to the other, he goes, "Oh, I'm going to see Ken Dodd tonight," and the other one goes, "Oh, are you bringing a sleeping bag?" Because literally,
he would go on.
Sometimes his manager has walked on stage and grabbed him and pulled him off. He goes, "Your show finished 2 hours ago, mate."
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
known for it.
One of the guys. He was a top dog.
Yeah.
And he could do it.
I always found him really funny growing up. He was great.
Yeah. He'd walk on. He'd do something like he goes. Do his. Oh, what a gay day! What a gay day! So getting a dictionary and looking up knickers. Fucking giggle.
I once played Bernard Manning's club, in Manchester.
Yeah.
He wasn't there that night, but the club was great actually, and we did support. We did the band I played with this obviously in the 80s. We supported Roy Chubby Brown, who was a comedian. I mean, it wasn't my sort of humour, to be honest. I mean, he was.
There was a line, I think, at some point in his career. There was a line that he
did cross it. It was about
crossed it, and it was.
Yeah, it was a football stadium went up in flames and people died.
Hard to
he
come
really,
back.
really, yeah. But he was.
That.
I mean, and his show was filthy. Now
we
were a band that we had a girl front singer. His manager was a woman actually as well. She was nice. We worked out because there's 5 of us in the band. We got paid. We only did something like 20 minutes, no more than 25 minutes. We got paid more per person per minute on that show than any other time in that band's career. They paid us really, really well. He came in and had a beer with us before the show, and he was funnier in the dressing room, cracking jokes and having a laugh, not being offensive. He was just a naturally funny guy. And then he went out and he did all this really offensive stuff. And I thought it's such a shame because obviously that's what his audience expected. But he was better than that, really.
Do you think he tried to back up from that material and got basically shut down?
No, I don't think he did. I think he was sort of, his audience, and he was predominantly men. There weren't many women in. I think our singer there's only probably 2 or 3 women in the audience. It was all male, very offensive stuff. Really, I mean, I've been to Jerry Sadovich shows. I know offensive stuff and I know edgy stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit of a shame because he was genuinely a funny bloke and a nice man.
Yeah.
When you meet him face to face, Yeah,
it's like when you get these shock comedians, the one thing they don't seem to realise is that it's very finite. It's like with Dice Man. Go, let's be really, really offensive and like that. And in the end, people just went, Yeah, but it's not funny anymore, mate.
Mm.
Yeah. It's ran out, bye.
Yeah,
But there you go.
it is. Yeah, but
Yes.
yeah, I remember that show. That's always stayed with me. That and the fact that he was a really nice bloke, and we got paid loads of money for doing 25 minutes work, and we were because we couldn't understand. We were a reasonably well paid covers band doing chart stuff in the 80s.
Yeah.
So we were doing Go West and Billy Idol and all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
And we thought he wants us as support, but anyway, he did,
Fair dues.
you
Yeah,
know.
don't know.
So who were we to take the money and
Yeah,
run?
absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I look back now and I go, yeah, perhaps I shouldn't have followed it through and just stuck with working on cars. I think I did. Mind you, the agoraphobia helped because by the time I got that, I couldn't do it anymore.
No.
But the early stuff, and there's something about you. I learned quite quickly that you can't be funny on stage if you're young.
You're probably right there. I'm trying to think.
Explain.
Who are the young comedians?
An audience don't really accept somebody who's young. And if they talk about stuff that grown up stuff, you can't. They go, well, he's not talking from experience. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah, I get that.
reciting words. Yeah, and because although there's a relationship between comedian and audience where you have, I'm here to make you laugh, and everybody in the audience is going, well, come on then, make me laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
yeah,
the relationship.
Come on,
Yeah.
entertain me. Yeah.
Right, and you have to always win them. So you have to become everybody's friend in the room, and then they will follow you. And then you can go, wibble wobble, and everybody laughs because they're now with you. They're on board. When you're young, even in that other relationship, there has to be some sort of respect, and you can't get respect from an audience if they think you're too young.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I suppose you're right
I had
there,
to
yeah.
try really hard. Winning a room for me was like, fuck me. It's like literally trying to grab people one at a time.
Yeah. So you're talking in your time because the reason I said it's plain, and the next question will be define young because, sorry, I'm addicted to read.
18 is young, mate. They're not going to have it. Not going to have it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
gotcha.
if you think a lot of comedians now are probably mid-20s to late 20s, early 30s, so they have had some life experience.
Yeah, well, if you're going to do the thing, when you people in the front row, right? They know they're going to get picked on. That's why they sit in the front row. So you pick on them, and that's what they expect you to do. But it's really, really difficult to pick. Yeah, it's really.
I go to the and see.
If you're an old guy, say you're some like Al Murray, pub landlord, right?
Yeah.
You're an older guy. You've already set up the persona of being a pub owner, and it's all like right. But you've got a fantastic mind and a degree
He's great,
in history.
actually. We saw him. He was brilliant. I mean,
mate. But he can pick on somebody. There's always going to be most of the people in that front row are going to be younger.
Yeah.
And he can, and do this sort of like that, could barely left school and you got no hair, what happened? And all this sort of thing. And you can really get in there. And then he'll play people off other people.
Yeah. I mean, when we saw him, he sent a bloke to the bar to get a sherry for the lady. And he gave him the money, And it was, honestly, I mean, because he came and did, because Pocklington used to have a festival. They stopped it it stopped it at the pandemic, actually. And he came, it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they got some quite big acts. And he headlined the Thursday night. And I tell you who was supporting him. It was Chris, the guy from Tyneside. Chris, forgot his surname. He does a podcast now with his wife. Stand-up comedian. No, it's gone completely. He died on his arse. I mean, and I don't know
Really?
if he's intimidated. Yeah, I mean, and I'd seen him do shows before. Chris Ramsey, he came to me eventually. Chris Ramsey was the support, and I'd seen Chris Ramsey just do his own thing at a show in Edinburgh, and he was really funny. He went down really, really well. I'd seen him a couple of times, and that night he died on his arse. Now, whether he was intimidated by Al Murray, I don't know, but he didn't connect with the audience at all. Al Murray came out; it was just hilarious, and I wasn't quite. I'll be honest, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I thought it was a one-trick pony, the pub landlord, but it wasn't.
No, he can be.
Yeah,
Because
he's
he
got
can
the band.
take
He's
it
got
down
the
any road.
Yeah, he's got the band there, so he's done a few songs as well, and the band are really hot.
Yeah.
It was absolutely superb.
No, he's really, really good.
Yeah, I'd
But
definitely
it's
go
like-
back and see him again.
But I mean, the thing is that you get people like Greg Davis,
Mm.
and he'll come on stage and he'll have the place in uproar, and if you look at it, he's not actually being funny. He's just he's telling you things that happened to him.
Just yeah.
But
Billy
all the
Connolly's like that.
delivery,
Yeah.
it's all the delivery, and then all the trimmings around the outside make it the act.
Yeah.
He's clever. He's really good.
I've never seen him in stand up. I've obviously seen him. I've seen him do. What was he in? What series was he in? TV series? Oh, I mean, he does the Taskmaster.
Was he in Betweeners
He
or
was-
something?
I never really watched the In-Betweeners. I watched the first series, and I never. And then I thought it's.
But I mean, even on
Task.
Taskmaster, I mean, he's just sitting in a chair for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
He's
exactly,
pleasure.
yeah, he is,
he's
but
just genuinely
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, he is.
And old Miss
And when he
Mr.
corpses,
Little
when he
Alex Horn,
Yeah,
is the perfect guy to bounce off.
yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. No, yeah. It's no, there was a TV series. I know that he did. He was the compere for. I think it was on Sky when Sky took over Buzzcocks. Never mind the Buzzcocks. And he did that.
Yeah.
I didn't like him doing that. Actually, I'll be honest, because he was almost trying to do the same thing that he did on Taskmaster, and he works on Taskmaster, but for me, it didn't quite work on Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
I know what you mean, but I think it was spoilt for him because of Matey Boy before. Not Pascal, not Curly. Before him.
Who did it before?
Heck, why can't I think of his name? Come on, Hive Mind.
Somebody in the chat room will tell us.
Yeah, why can't I remember his name? Because I find him quite hilarious.
Come on, they're only 30 seconds
Mark
behind.
Lamar.
Mark Lamar. Yeah. Well, Mark Lamar is incredibly dry, isn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
I used to love. What was that late night thing he did on Channel 4? Mark Lamar was on. That could be edgy at times, and he was always, you don't see him. You don't see him at all anymore, Mark Lamar.
No.
No.
I think he's writing. Because a lot of comics do, don't they? They suddenly go do writing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
It's less trouble than having to face an audience.
Yeah. They've got I think it's some of the other great. I mean Lee Mack is.
I love Lee Mack. I'd love
Lee
to see him
Mack,
in stand up.
Do you know what? I don't know which is faster, the speed of light or Lee Mack's brain.
He's just
Jesus
he's just
Christ.
absolutely awesome.
Like that.
So
Yeah.
quick. Yeah. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's a good one.
I tell you what, because when Lee Mack does the thing with what is it? It's the panel show thing, isn't it? That he does on BBC. David. Oh, my brain has gone to mush today. I've been sat at a computer all day trying to bloody edit Andy and Grace's album metadata, so you can tell where my head's gone.
Right.
It's not Have I Got News for You. It's on Friday nights, and it's Come on, Hive Mind.
Friday nights. Would I lie
Friday
to you?
nights. Yes, that's it. Would I
Yeah.
lie to you? When Bob Mortimer is on Would I Lie to You?
Oh, feck
Bob
me.
Mortimer is absolutely, well, he's hilarious. He's just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'd love to do. I mean, I used to love Vic and Bob back in the day. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Would I lie?
I mean,
Would I lie to you? I used to have the T-shirt.
their show didn't last very long.
No, I mean, it was so weird and so brilliant.
It was
and,
so funny.
It was just absolutely hilarious. You know. But yeah, no, Bob Mortimer is a star, really.
Yeah. Yeah, he's funny. He's funny.
Would I, thank you. Yes. Yeah. Would I lie to you? Yeah.
Yeah. But see, I
Right.
like the way David Mitchell bounces off him
He does, yeah. Cause,
beautifully.
I mean, I did watch Peep Show a little bit. I watched I didn't watch all of the whole series because there's loads of series, wasn't there? But I watched the early parts of Peep Show and quite liked the format. But for some reason didn't really stick with it, you know. But I think
Yeah, the same.
Jen didn't buy
Same.
into it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
no,
quite
same.
liked the way it was done. I tell you what I'm watching at the moment. I'm watching Fisk. She's on Netflix. Half-hour Australian comedian show about she's a solicitor, and it's really quite good. It's some, you know, because we will usually watch a sort of half-hour comedy thing over tea for our tea in front of the telly.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad watch. I think we've only got one more episode. There's only like 6 episodes, and the other one is Colin from Accounts, which is brilliant. That's again
I've heard about
Australian.
this. Yeah, I've heard about
Yeah.
this one. Yeah.
So Colin from Accounts is a dog. Right. I'm not giving anything away there.
Oh,
but
right, okay.
Yeah. I won't tell you why it's called Colin from Accounts, but Colin is, and it's a dog who's got, he's got a wheel. He's got wheels because his back legs got run over by a car in the first episode. But it's honestly, it is very funny. It's very funny.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there's going to be a new series, I think, of it. But and because we'd watched that, which was obviously Australian, and Jen's mum had watched it, said, "Oh, you've got to watch this." So we watched all of Colin from Accounts, and then I just stumbled across this thing called Frisk, you know.
No.
So yeah, but it's definitely worth a watch. Right, I better go and do some work because.
Yeah,
I've got to get this done before. I'm trying to get this video out tonight.
I'm going to prepare tea.
Yeah. Well, ours will be an hour, but right. Yeah. I'm gonna sign off.
Yeah.
And I'll see you guys later.
All right. Same.
Take it easy, guys.
Take
Bye,
care, everyone.
See you later.
Take in hardware jams if you're doing so later tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.